Weekday nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry icy's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Turnipole, and as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. This is the post Wrestlemania match, Wrestlemania event for me. Cheers, boys and girls. If you don't like John Cena, don't watch this show. John Cena, I've been a fan of his since 2002. Pink shorts, walking up to Kurt Angle, screaming in his face, yelling ruthless aggression. This man deserves to be the 17th time world champion. Come at me if you don't believe me. If you don't think so. I'll put the link in the chat here. I've invited a couple people. Probably all of them are sleeping or got to go to work or something. I don't have to go to work or any of that stuff. So let me see here. I need a pot. Let's see here. Oh, no, that's not it.
It was, an average size.
I try this.
Didn't spray anything.
Paste. That should be it right there.
On the big house.
Oh,
Link is in the chat. Come at me. How many people are happy that John won? How many people are happy that Dominic won? I'm actually happy they both won. To be honest.
Welcome back, Becky. Congratulations.
Let's go.
To you both.
Let's go, Tony. Let's go.
Obviously, you've been out for
What the hell?
almost exactly.
So I'm talking about John, the old school. Talking about like this. Word life, baby.
Not an injury. And hang out with your daughter.
Changer. I missed the bad. Dude, I love the Doctor of Thugonomics. Absolutely love him. I wish he would never change from that. Io Sky won. I'd love to talk about last night, though. I would love to talk about last night. Like, honestly, because all right, full disclosure, my son was getting confirmed to be a Catholic, Catholicism, which I'm not Catholic, but it's great. That's awesome. I'm very proud of my son for that. But I saw the first match and I saw the last match last night. The last match last night, I called it. I don't think I put it on Twitter because I have time, but I called it. Because there was nowhere else for them to go. There was nowhere else for them to go. The architect, the innovator, Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay.
Ooh, Tony. I like that. Randy Orton versus John Cena. They have had those matches so many times. I watched John Cena versus Randy Orton in Cincinnati And John Cena came off trying to do a blockbuster, and Randy Orton called with RKO. I might have to turn this TV off because this sound is messing me up. So 1 second, you guys stick around.
Never thought before. She's so dedicated. She's so passionate. She's so good. She's so smooth that the world is her oyster. So to be able to be here on her first WrestleMania.
That's better. All right. Sorry about that. Too much noise going on that, well, I couldn't hear. So, if you guys want to join and discuss one of the best, like last year I thought was good. I did. I thought last year was good. This year, well, you guys say what you want about John Cena. Like, I remember the dude walking into One Night Stand ECW, and there's a guy who had a sign that says, if Cena wins, we riot. Cena walked in. He took all that shit. And he's supposed to be a babyface. Took all of it. Against RVD, which RVD is great. Took all of it. And won. Kept riding. Kept putting the company on his shoulder for over 20 years. Dude. People who don't think that shit is real, the pressure, the magnitude of what that man did for at least 17 years, then you don't know wrestling. This ain't the show for you, because that is what makes real wrestling fans respect John Cena. Because whatever the business was, he did. To be honest, I was watching, and the fans were cheering him, and I loved it. There's a point there I'm thinking you might have a Hogan Rock WrestleMania where, you know, Rock's still a good guy, but Hogan gets his fans back. I still think that, because people love John Cena. It's the WWE universe is very strange. You shove something down our throat, most times we're like, screw you. No, we don't like that guy. But when you put the time in and the effort that John Cena has, you can't do anything but respect him. That's it. You got to respect. All right. Ricky, I guess sooner or later, everyone is going to lose at WrestleMania. Yeah. I mean, hey, Dustin, Cody had a great run. I love Cody Rhodes. I love the American Nightmare. I love the whole thing about it. I do. But it's John Cena. Say what you want. Cody should have got more push. I believe you. I agree with you. Cody didn't. Cena did. Cena deserves to be the 17-time world champion. First ballot Hall of Famer. If this is definitely his last year, which what he says it is, next year WrestleMania, he's going to the Hall of Fame. He better. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to invite some people here. We're going to put the link in the chat. So I'm going to try this. I already copied it. Let's go down here. And I'm going to paste it again. All right, there you go. It is in the chat. YouTube, Facebook, not Twitch, and not Twitter. Let me see if I can put this in Twitter. Let me go with this. I'll put this picture up there. Join the WrestleMania chat live. Click on the link below. You join the show. Now people click that like, oh shit. Actually, like he's like not kidding. There you go. Oh yeah. It's in Twitter. So who? Let's see here. William didn't see half of night 2. Well, I was the exact opposite. I missed half of night 1. Who Day, William, Yeet, and Who Day. I missed half of night 1. I saw the first match. Oos, Yeet, Jey Uso won, and then I saw the last match because, like I said, my son got confirmed to be a Catholic. So we were down there watching, and I rewinded to watch the final match, which was awesome. Thank you, William. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeet, yeet, yeet. By the way, did you guys watch Jey Uso's press conference last night? I think the brother was a little drunk because he was partying. Again, I like to look at it from the wrestler's perspective as much as I can. Like these guys, him and Jay and Jimmy started out in Florida Championship Wrestling as a tag team. Hoping to just get noticed as a tag team. And Jay, they broke him off. He started this whole geek movement. There's no way in hell he thought this was going to happen. I'm like, I would love something like this for my YouTube channel to happen, where I just start some crazy thing and people just start going nuts. It'd be awesome, but it just happened, man. You find something and it just works. Yeah, he was definitely drunk, that's for sure. But you can't blame the guy, dude. Like he said he never thought it would happen. Never even thought it. You know? And you gotta respect that because it's just hard work. It's just freaking hard GD work. That's it. You want to earn something, you gotta work your ass off at it. And that's brings you back to John Cena. John Cena has done nothing but work his ass off. No matter people boot him, go John Cena. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. John Cena rocks. Whatever. He still kept pushing forward, and WWE Universe is weird. It's like as soon as you're like, all right, he's heel. Well, screw it. We're going to cheer for him. Dude, I would get so mad. People are like, why are they saying John Cena sucks? Fuck you guys. That's my dude. That is my freaking dude. Like I said, he has been my dude. I watched the SmackDown in 2002. Look it up. 2002. Kurt Angle and John Cena. John Cena walked out in pink shorts because that's the whole ruthless aggression speech that Vince McMahon gave. He challenged anybody in the back. John Cena walked out and said, ruthless aggression. I was at the SmackDown, and Kurt Angle, God love him, Hall of Famer, he's awesome, got me. He came out to John Cena's original music, not the ones he's got now, the original music. He had the Florida Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars jersey, and the visor cocked to the side. And I'm like, yeah, throw it up. Like, oh, shit, that's Kurt. And then the Dr. Thug Mountains came out. That's how far back I go. I'm 50. I know Hogan. I know Macho Man. I know Andre the Giant. I've been watching wrestling as long as I can remember, so I know it. Let's see here. 30. That ain't the first time he did that. What are you talking about? Being a heel? Being what? What are you talking about there? Tony, congratulations to Cena on winning his 17th title. Tony, explain what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're talking about. The first time he's ever did that. Being a heel? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What? Stranger, JYD, Junkyard Dog, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yes, I'm. So In 1983, JYD was my dude. The headbutt. I'm doing with my hands, but that he did with his leg. That's his dance. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Ho! Yep, love both of them. Yep, I'm that old. I've been watching wrestling forever, and to where, like, see, that's like, so the funny thing is, like, when I started this, I've always been a wrestling fan, but I wasn't like one that was going to go out and put it out there. Oh, you like wrestling? Oh, how can you get into that if you know the outcome is scripted? Yeah, it might be scripted. I don't know what the outcome is, and what they do hurts. You got like the ropes. They're legit ropes. It's rope with duct tape taped around it. That's why they call them the ropes. It's rope. That's what it is. I know, stranger. I know. You're older than me. I know you are. Cena just Cena just said, stay tuned to Monday Night Raw. I'm here for it. I had it on there, but I can't listen to it while I'm doing this. I would love one of you guys, with 35 watch, I would love one of you guys or girls, or anybody that my friends I sent the day on link to, but they're all, see, weird thing is, like, if I talk Bengals, they're like, yeah, let's go, let's talk ball. I talk wrestling. Oh, I was hoping Dale would show up. Dale actually likes wrestling, but this could be a short show. We'll see. What the hell? Whatever. Let's see. Did anybody answer any of my DMs? Kevin in Kentucky did. He said Cena leaves wearing the belt backwards so everybody see him walking away. That is awesome, dude. Exactly. Like, so yeah, I don't. Everybody's like, yeah, oh, Cena's going. It's John Cena, boys and girls. John Cena. He is not going to take the belt and go home. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to ruin wrestling. Oh, trust me. He's going to have it till SummerSlam or until he retires. I will tell you that. Because he's going to get cockier and cockier and cockier. And he deserves to be able to do this and talk shit to the WWE universe. He deserves it. He deserves it. He does. He deserves to say whatever the hell he wants to. He does. The 5 moves of doom. He can't wrestle. All the shit that people have said about him. That he's a corporate guy. He's Vince's picked man. Blah, 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 blah. 17-time world champ. Dude, you can say what you want 17 times to be the world champion. That means, everybody talking about wrestling, you know there's more than wrestling to do with this. You got to be at every fucking event. You have to be at everything. You have to, be sober. You got to be clean, crisp, clear. You got to be on it every single day, 365 days a year. You are representing the WWE. That's a lot. There is no days off. That's how big that is. It's huge. And like my daughter-in-law's sister was like, well, how is it so big when you know who's going to win, or that's scripted who's going to win? It's like, because you don't know who's going to win. Like, you don't know the outcome, and you don't know where they're going to lead that story. You're just along for the ride. But that dude who worked his ass off, or her girl who worked her ass off to get to that point, that's huge. That's a big accomplishment. That's a lot of work. And trust me, the work has started to keep that belt. It's not just the wrestling. It's more, honestly, it's more important than the rest of the stuff. The rest of the stuff is more important. If you can get to that point where you got the belt, then you can wrestle and you can talk on a mic. It's the other stuff they got to find out about if you can handle that. And that's huge. All right, let's see here. Tony Blazin. I just went to WWE Raw this past February, and I haven't been to WWE event since they wrestled in Cincinnati Gardens. I was at the last Gardens one. And they kayfabe 365 too. I had a question for you guys. Like, I grew up in the 80s. There's no kayfabe. You didn't see nothing. And no, we all thought they're all crazy. Hell, I thought George J. Steele liked eating turnbuckles. You know, I thought it was real. I think these guys are just weirdos. Now you get to find the behind the scenes stuff. And Triple H put it perfectly, I thought, when I had the interview today. He said, we're not going to tell you what happens before, which would suck, because I don't want to know what happens before. I want to watch it. But they're going to start a series, I guess, on Netflix. I'm not sure where they'll show you how they did it. And to me, the how they did it at 50 years old is damn near almost more interesting into what happened. I've seen what they've happened for 50 years. How they do that, and that's where I was watching this match, because they have changed in the middle of the match. So the referee's got an earpiece in with everybody cheering. 90% of the people cheering for Cena, and the big eruption he got when he won, being a heel. I thought they might do a little switcheroo. I thought, because Bianca kind of did it. Bianca, when she was in there, Boogeyman was weird. Yes, Boogeyman was weird. I agree with that. Well, Bianca kind of did it a little bit when she was doing the triple threat with Io Sky and Mommy, because she started kissing, smacking her ass to the crowd. I think she was kind of trying to do the heel turn in the middle of the match, but it didn't work. But I think there's the problem. Not the problem. The thing is, I think there's Cena didn't turn because there's so much more storyline that they want to get to. That's the difference when Hogan came in, and this is what I'm just coming to my head right now. When Hogan came back, and he was NWO Hogan, Hollywood Hogan is going to The Rock. I don't really think they had a storyline past that, or had completely figured out what they were going to do. When the crowd switched and started cheering for Hogan, Rock knew it, Hogan knew it. Like, all right, was the storyline, and that's what they say is they listen to the crowd. But Triple H did say in his interview that, yeah, we listen, but we'll tell you where the story goes. They ain't got a story. They don't have a story. They'll listen to you. This is where I really wish the RKO match, and I can't remember his name. I posted to get Cena a world champion. In my opinion, they missed an opportunity to start something there. Now they could bring it back, because he could show up on Monday and talk shit to RKO, and they could do something there. But to me, they missed an opportunity there, because, well, and it's hard to keep track and figure out all the storylines, all this stuff, and that's one where I think I thought the match was cool. I wish it was a little longer, but they missed an opportunity to expand, because the whole WrestleMania thing is to take it to SummerSlam. That's the whole WrestleMania point, is to start at WrestleMania. This is the bang. The end is SummerSlam for the big ones. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Paul Heyman, that's going all summer. If it's not, I'll be shocked. I guarantee you it's going all summer. That's where RKO, because they don't have anything else. Like, yeah, Kevin Owens, this could be a new storyline. And hopefully WWE, if you're watching, you still can bring this back. You still can bring it back because he's a very popular wrestler on the internet. You saw the crowd pop. People liked him. I don't know if, and that's the thing is, maybe WWE didn't realize how big he was. He's big on the internet, and fans like him. You get that pop. That can go into something else. So, curious, Monday, if he comes back. Damn, what's his name? I gotta look at my Twitter feed here. Not John Heyman. What the hell's his name? Help me out there on the chat here. Let me see here. Rolling back. Listen, I posted a lot of stuff tonight. No, persevere now. John Hendrick. Yes, John Hendrick. Yes. All right, I want to quote tweet this. This is what I'll talk about live on the show right now. I'm not why. What? WHAT space I am. All right, so to me, this was a missed opportunity. He's the TNA, which I've never, like when I started TNA in 2000, 2001, I never thought TNA World Champion would be at WrestleMania. But they missed. Johnny, Cena is a cheat. 17 years is ruining Cody Rhodes till death. Cody Rhodes deserved to lose. John Cena deserved to win. Hey, Johnny, come here. I'll do you a favor. Let's see here. Hold on. Copy. Let's see right here. I'm going down. I'm going to paste you something here, dude. Let's see here. Paste. There's a link right there. Please join. Oh, you're on Twitter. Daggone it. I can't send it to Twitter. Why is that? I don't know why it's not going on Twitter. I'd love to have this conversation. I really do. I want to have this conversation. Why do you think that? Why do you think John Cena cheated? I agree. But why did that ruin it? Tell me. Why did that ruin it? Why? Well, all right. We celebrate Ric Flair, right? Dirtiest player in the game. But there was times he was a good guy. There was times I watched it. He Flair for the gold. He was a babyface. Why is he? Why is he? Why do you think that ruined it? Come on now. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, snap! My boy, who better have a shirt on. Do you have a shirt on? Scroll the camera down. Let's see. Do you have a shirt on? Come on, Anthony. You got a shirt on? No, God damn it. You don't have a shirt on. What the hell? Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. We're going to bring it. You got a damn shirt on. What's up, AC?
What's up, man?
All right. Did John Cena ruin his legacy for hitting Cody Rhodes in the face with the belt to win record-breaking 17th time world championship?
No.
Hey, there you go. Thank you.
No.
Why do you think that?
Because at some point, like any of the wrestlers that you and I have grown up watching,
Right.
they've all gone through the heel phase.
They've all gone heel. Exactly.
At some point or another, they've all gone heel. I think Cena's was long overdue.
I agree with that.
And at the end of the day, it is one of those things that it I love the point that Michael Cole made.
What we got?
That when they were talking about after Cena won the match,
All right.
they made a reference to Ric Flair.
Woo!
Ric Flair did not win 16 world titles being a nice guy.
Nope. He did not. He won the first one. I think the first one, he was a babyface. That was the one against, I want to say.
Harley Race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Harley Race, the cage match. That was the first one. That was a Flair for the goal in 83. The rest of the time, I think it was a heel. That's what, like, right after that, he turned and got with Iron and Ole Anderson, and they created the Four Horsemen.
And if you remember, in all the years that Ric Flair wrestled, he had like extremely short face turns.
Yeah, no, they
like
weren't long
his
reigns.
best work was done as a heel.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
His
Exactly.
best work was done as a heel.
I'll put it this way: the best babyface I thought he was. So it had Sting and Flair in '88, and I think they went an hour, and then Terry Funk put Ric Flair through a table.
Yeah, he pile drive. I think he
pile
did a pile driver on him.
Yes, to me, and then Flair went after him. That was Flair's best babyface. But you got the Hall of Famer Terry Funk, who fucking put him through a table.
Well, but Terry Funk,
which 88 didn't do that shit. We never saw that stuff. That was like, holy crap! Did it really break his neck?
Well, but to be honest, we all know Terry Funk was a psycho.
He
was nuts.
Yeah. He was nuts, dude.
Like, yeah, he was straight out. He was off his rocker. But that was one of the best things about him.
Right.
Was because he was off his rocker. We knew he was not mentally all there.
Right. So I got a question for you. The RKO shit. What's his name again?
Joe Hendry.
All right. So I think they missed an opportunity with that. I think because Joe Hendry has been a big internet sensation, and he's been on a couple of different pay-per-views and stuff. Because RKO has nothing else. Because the whole storyline with Kevin Owens is done. They could have done something, which they can bring it back Monday night if Hendrick comes out and starts talking shit to him. But I think they missed something there. What do you think?
I definitely think they missed something.
Yeah. It was too short. It was too short a match, and it was just it looked like
I could have done
there.
Like for me, I could have did without Joe Hendry trying to do the fake ass choke slam. Like he was gonna try to choke slam him, and like you look at Randy, or you look at him, they're close in height. It's like, no, that's not gonna go over. And Randy, I think, has like 20 pounds. Has 20 pounds on him.
Yeah, but I mean, RKO needs a storyline. Where's he gonna go? That's the thing. That's why, like, so John says here, Randy Orton is a dog, which I agree. 2 RKOs at the end was priceless. I know, but what if he kicked out?
You want to know something that I just thought about?
What you got?
I would not be surprised, and mark my words here. I'm spitballing here.
Oh yeah.
I would not be surprised. John Cena saying he's going to retire with the belt, that, and the other. But
he's going to ruin wrestling. Well, that's not going to happen. But
he's got a ton of other dates booked up.
Yeah.
They still got to put one more run with. You tell me this.
What you got?
I think they got to do one more run with him and Orton, because it's been the better part of over a decade.
I agree with that. That's the next that those two have been there since the beginning. They were in ROH at the beginning, so I can see that one. And one of the greatest RKOs I saw live at the Coliseum when John Cena jumped off the top rope trying to do a blockbuster, and RKO caught him. And the one with Rollins, I think, was the best at WrestleMania about 10 years ago in San Francisco. That was the best, but the best one I saw live was that one. So I can see that. So just put it out there. You put this guy who's getting a push. Hendry's getting a push. I mean, people want to see him. He's going to be on the main roster eventually. Why
No,
not
but I think
bring
he's
him
still.
in?
I think he's still technically under contract with TNA. I think they'll.
So how
Probably,
does that work? I don't understand that.
they've got some kind of deal worked out where like some of their talent will show up on Raw or SmackDown or NXT,
okay.
and vice versa. So
Because
what
well,
probably
there's
what'll
what-
probably end up happening, I think that's kind of how you watch NXT at all?
yeah, I do.
You know the one chick Jordan Grace?
Yeah,
She came from TNA.
right.
So I think
yeah,
what's going to end up
but she switched. She's
Yeah.
full time NXT now.
Yep.
The Juggernaut. Yeah.
So I think what's going to end up happening, it'll probably be a similar thing, or they'll work out some kind of deal to buy out his
Buy
contract.
him out. Yeah. Well, they bought out AAA, the Mexican wrestling,
Yeah, I heard about that Saturday.
which is, and so they're having the I think it's second. I don't know. The first World's End was in '94. I watched it. This will be the second. I think it's the second one.
World's End or Worlds Collide?
Worlds Collide. Sorry, yes, you're right.
Okay,
Worlds
no, that's
Collide,
what I was making
Yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
could have,
No, you're right. Thank you.
yeah, I could have misunderstood.
So Worlds Collide, which is gonna be cool, having the Lucha, and I love Mano. No fear.
yeah, Penta was a badass in that
dude,
match.
Penna, I look when who's tight end for the 49ers.
George Kittle.
When he started, I didn't know that was Penna till he came to not TNA, AEW. And then I'm like, oh shit. And then when he got to WWE, I'm like, oh dude, they've got to do. I'm happy that Dom won because I think he deserves it because he's been getting his ass beat for 2 years. His ass beat. Every match he's in, he gets his ass beat. So I think Dom deserves it, but I want to see the run between Dom and Penta. That's what I want to see.
Well, something tells me I think what's gonna happen now with Dom being the Intercontinental Champion, they got to break up the Judgment Day first.
Oh yeah, I think it's getting broken up. It was about to. It's had its run.
Yeah, I think they're gonna break that up. They might do a short run with Dom and Finn.
I can see Dom and Finn going. Finn's going to challenge Dom for the IC title. I can see that,
and then I think they'll do that program first, and then they'll find some way to edge it in with Penta. I think Dom and Penta would probably be a good SummerSlam match.
Penta is, dude.
Because Penta's like crazy over.
Dude, go to YouTube and not now when we get done. Go to YouTube, watch any of Penta's matches. They are fucking crazy.
Yeah, I've watched a few of his AEW ones.
Dude's a badass.
They're insane.
I mean, he is ridiculous, man. I mean, I like his walk. I like his look. I like everything about him. I wish he could. I'm not trying to sound like a dumbass American. I wish he could speak English a little better. His promos.
He speaks decent enough English to where at least you can clearly
right.
Like my thing is I don't care if your English is perfect as long as I can at least
understand you. Yeah.
If I can generally understand most of what comes out of your mouth, then hey,
right.
I'm good.
So were you surprised Io Sky won? Because I wasn't. I think she needs to push because I don't think Mommy or not Bailey
Bianca.
Bianca need a push. They're good on their own. She needs a push. She because she's good. She's very, very good. But for me, if they don't have the mic skills, it's hard. You know,
Well,
it's like all right. I'll put it like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is never good on the mic. That's why I always had Paul.
That's why Paul was there. That's why,
right.
Actually, since you brought that up, that actually left me rather confused. Why are now they're aligning him with Seth Rollins?
Where are they going to go?
Seth never needed a mic.
But where are they going to go with that? Because that made complete sense to me. Because Seth is the innovator. Seth always knows. Seth always has the upper hand of what's going on, especially against Roman.
The only thing I'm wondering is if they're trying to basically if Seth's aligning with Paul to try to edge it into a world title match, whether it be with Cena or whether in all likelihood it would be with Jey Uso.
Who? Rollins?
Yeah, I'm wondering.
No,
I'm gonna say Paul. Paul's got like crazy pull.
He does,
The
but
way they make it
those
look.
three. But I'll tell you, those three, Rollins, Punk, and Seth can make it all summer on just that storyline. All three of them. There's so many ways to go with that. To why Heyman did it, to how smart Rollins was, and how dumb the other guys were. Yeah, there's so many ways I can totally see it. There's so many storylines you can go that way.
Yeah, the one thing I'm wondering though is if there's another guy in the wings that maybe we didn't know about.
Mox.
That's gonna what?
Mox. John Moxley.
I was gonna say I think he's still under contract with AEW.
He's still under contract, but Seth said his name. He didn't call him Dean Ambrose. If you listen to the match, you listen to Seth talking to Rollins, he's like, you turned your back. You didn't listen to me. You didn't listen to Mox, and he didn't say, shit, I forgot his name already. Whatever Mox's name was at WWE. What was his name? I can't think of his name.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. He didn't say Dean. He said Mox. And to me, I was looking at that stuff and I'm going, well, and it doesn't always happen because I'm still waiting for the 4 horsewomen to get together. I would love that to happen. But, the boss CEO is in AEW. So that, and because they've always, like, if you listen to Mike and they talk to the wrestlers and you can hear what they're saying sometimes, they say shit that I think they want to happen, but doesn't actually happen. I think Seth and Roman want Mox to come back because, dude, all right, I'll put it this way. Let's put it this way. Let's say this. Let's say Roman comes out and he does a D-Generation X thing, like Triple H did. Sometimes you're calling your buddies, sometimes you're calling your friends, and Tupac shows up. Not Tupac. X-Pac shows up. Kid shows up. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
So what if hey, you know what? You screwed us once. I need some help. I'm calling on my boy John Moxley.
I'm wondering. It's not out of the realm of impossibility. The only thing I'm wondering though is what the. I'm not sure where Mox is on his contract. And
he's the
bring up the last comment.
Which one? This one?
No.
Pipe Dream. Oh, Mox ain't leaving.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's the one thing I have heard.
I think he likes it there. Yeah,
he's too. He's too ingrained there.
He likes.
I think they would have to. I think there would have to be a lot of incentive for him to come.
You also have to bring his wife back.
Well, I think that would be one thing, but I think they would have to give him complete creative control over his character, because I think that's one thing that
honestly, I don't think Triple H is. I don't think he has a problem with that.
Yeah, I think he would want complete it, or at least it wouldn't surprise me if he wanted complete creative control.
Yeah,
because I think he's got a lot more freedom.
They've done it before. Yeah, I agree.
He's got a lot of freedom. He's got a lot more freedom and liberties with AEW with how they've got things set up with him.
Yeah, but that's my pipe dream. I would love to see the Shield somewhat, and Mox is a Cincinnati guy, so I'm.
Oh yeah, we're always gonna pull from him.
I want him back. Look, my problem with AEW, the wrestling is good, but the storylines suck.
Do you remember 2022 when Mox came to town?
Oh yeah,
game? Oh, yeah. I ended up getting to meet him there.
I know he was at the tailgate. I was trying to get him to come to mine, and he didn't.
Yeah,
Mox is awesome.
Yeah, Mox is a pretty cool dude. I only ended up getting to talk to him for just a split second. Just say, hey, could I get a pic? He just saunters over and just says, yeah. He comes up. I was like,
well, it's just, I mean, it's just like when I brought Corey Dillon to the tailgate. Everybody kept coming to me, can I get a pic with Corey? He's like, yeah, he's right there.
And that was and I know that was the thing with me, because that was the thing with me. Like, I know when I met up with you guys over at Moorline. Yeah. And I was like, I think I asked Greg or Porkchop, said, "Hey, any possibility if I brought a ball like Sunday to the game?" I said, "I'd love to have something signed by him." I didn't have anything signed by him,
Right.
and he was like, "They were like, yeah,
Yeah.
shouldn't be a
Well,
problem."
I had Docs. Docs showed up to my tailgate and he signed all kinds of stuff. So.
Well, but I think Dawkins. I think he's used to he's used to it, and it don't bother him in the
Doc's
slightest.
my dude, man. He's cool.
Yeah,
I'm
how
pissed.
did you end
I'm
up beating
pissed.
that?
I am pissed that they have a or a TLC match, and it wasn't at Mania. It should have been at Mania. The TLC match is next Friday at SmackDown. This is bullshit.
Hold on, when they put a TLC match on SmackDown?
They did. They did it Friday night. Yeah, it's gonna be the
Usually
Guns.
those are always saved for the pay-per-view.
Right. It's gonna be the Guns. It's gonna be DIY. It's gonna be the Profits.
And that's like the one. And I think outside of that, I think there's a match like that. You would think they would save for a. They don't call them pay-per-views anymore. They call them post
PLVs. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, on that moment, I have to go to the bathroom. Are you gonna hang on for a second?
Yeah, hang on.
All right, because we'll be right back.
Oh, of course. And we're back.
And we're back. What's up, boys and girls? A little bit of a restroom break here. Let's see here. Let's see what Tony says. I hope they don't use Travis Scott again. I wish they would have used I'm surprised the final boss didn't show up. You know, were you shocked to that, Anthony? Like,
yeah, I would have thought Rock would have had some kind of
something,
presence there,
right?
Because it only made sense to.
Right? Why do you bring Travis Scott? Like Rock should came out with him. Something should that was a little weird.
I'm wondering if he had some kind of scheduling conflict. Maybe, who knows? Maybe he was originally intended to be there, but
it's WrestleMania, dude.
Minute.
It's WrestleMania, and you're part of the ownership. You should be there. Like, you do this big spot, and like last year was awesome when he was.
Oh, there. Yeah, no, it was perfect last year. I think the main event, in my opinion, I think could have been a little bit better, but it went pretty much about what you expected with Cena going over.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I expected it. I was great with it. I loved it. It did. But
yeah, no, I'm not saying I had a problem with it. I'm just saying about what I figured with how they were building it together, with how the buildup was.
There's the link if you guys want to join. Johnny says Scott opened up that pocketbook for some FaceTime. Yeah, well, duh. I mean, yeah, he's Trevor Scott. Yeah, if you have a chance to be on TV where billions and billions of people are watching, yeah, you're going.
Yeah.
I would do the same damn thing. Like if WWE ever called me up and hey, you're friends with D'Angelo Dawkins, you want to do something? Yeah. You want to take a spear? Sure, I'll do it. Like, yeah, I could be a part
So,
of WWE.
with that being said,
Yeah.
who would you rather take a spear from? Roman Reigns or Braun Breaker?
Oh fuck, Roman Reigns.
Because
23 miles an hour.
Braun looks like he goes
dude.
with the intention to split you in half.
23 miles an hour off the ropes. Now I'm good. I'll take Roman.
Oh yeah, no, he. Braun still has the. Braun's still trying to get the foot. Yeah, trying to get his football.
But
yeah,
why is he Braun Breaker? Why isn't he Braun Steiner?
Only thing I can think of is that he wants to forge his own path.
Yeah, but they keep talking about how he's Rick Steiner's dad and Scott Steiner's uncle. So I'm like, we know this. Why is he Braun Breaker? Like, call him Braun Steiner or call him whatever the hell his name is with Steiner as his last name. Like, I don't understand that. It just makes no sense to me. I'm like, we know who he is. You keep talking about it. So then just put it out there.
And especially when he cuts the infamous Steiner math promo.
Right. Yes. I mean, exactly. He's not hiding from it.
So anybody that's a wrestling fan that's listening, that's watching this right now, put a comment if you know the Steiner
math. It's a big Papa Pump, and both of them made sense, to be honest.
Oh my God! I remember the first time I heard that promo, and I'm sitting there going, I'm like, that's completely genius.
That makes sense. Like, what the hell? What's going on here? Like, holy shit! I don't know how he figured all that shit out, but yeah,
they just did it just straight off the top of the dome.
And that's the thing is these guys. This is why I like to do it. I guess this is my promo or whatever. That's why I like doing stuff live. You just whatever happens live happens live. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's a live show. They spit it out live. I like live stuff.
That's why I've loved like whenever you've had certain guests, like I know on our show, whenever I've had.
By the way, promote your show since you're here.
All right,
I gotta come on sometime. We've been working on.
Yeah, we have been working on that, but then a couple times we've had stuff go on that the last couldn't get it worked out. Well, for any of you that may not know who I am one of the hosts of the Rule the Jungle podcast, and if any of you, obviously by the name of Rule the Jungle, it's a Bengals podcast. We do everything from talking the draft, talking your off-season topics, and from time to time, we have been known to get a few guests in.
So.
Yeah. Some. I'm not quite as well connected as this guy right here.
I'm not connected at all.
Well, I'm trying to hype you up a little bit. Man. I'm trying to hype you up a little bit.
Oh, low.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Yeah, with WrestleMania this year, I think that there was I was pleased with it overall. A couple little spots where it was like, but overall, I see your point that it made sense to kind of have Io Sky win the match.
Yeah, she needs to put that was the only. I kind of thought that was going to happen because, well, they built it up that way because they're like, Io Sky's an afterthought, and they kept saying she's an afterthought, but she's a really good fucking wrestler.
Oh yeah, no, she
really
is
good. Like
and she came from around like the New Japan and Stardom and all that.
Yeah,
so.
she'd jump off the top of the cage with a garbage can on her head. I remember that stuff. She's crazy. Yeah. She's crazy. So I'm like, Bianca. People are gonna love Bianca. People are gonna love her. People know Bianca Belair. People know Mommy. They know them. they don't know because I had somebody say, "Oh, yeah, this guy," I'm like, he just doesn't like her, which is fine. But she's a really good wrestler and very good at what she does, and she worked her ass off, and she deserves this. That's what I'm saying. That she deserves the push, and who knows what happens? Maybe the push, maybe WWE Universe rejects it, and nobody watches it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely a possibility.
The other thing is like Logan Paul. I people give him shit, and he's an Ohio boy, but Logan Paul.
Yeah, he's a fucking Browns fan.
He's a fucking Browns fan, but that fucking
He's
Browns
a
fan.
fuck him.
But he can wrestle, dude. If you're looking at pure wrestling, that dude can wrestle. He can. He can.
Oh no,
wrestle.
he's improved a lot from when he first.
Dude, he was good. Like I was shocked from the get-go of how good he was.
Yeah, he's definitely that was a underrated. Yeah, that was a good match with him and that Steiner that Scott Steiner promo was a classic. Yes, it was.
It was. But Logan Paul was good from his first time I really remember watching him was WrestleMania. Was the one where he came down like Shawn Michaels off the he came over to Sky and on the
If you're talking about the one the Shawn Michaels, I think that was WrestleMania 12, I want to say.
not Shawn Michaels, but when Logan Paul did it.
Oh, yeah, that was either WrestleMania 39 or WrestleMania.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, really? That's what I thought. Oh my god, you're gonna do the Shawn Michaels thing? Okay, whatever.
No, it was 39 because he was going against Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but it was a good match. I mean, and I don't think Rollins carried him. He did good because I watch wrestling enough where I could. Well, I
in other words,
I
get what you're saying because typically because I had a friend of mine that went through Heartland Wrestling.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, he was telling me. He said one of the things, and I never knew this until years later when he told me. He always said that typically the heels are the ones that carry the match.
Yeah, because they're the ones, which makes sense. They're the ones that are controlling the heat.
Yeah,
so they're controlling what the fans do, and they're like, all right, I got pissed off. Now you hit me in the face, or you take off top rope or whatever. I got them.
Oh yeah, no, that without question. That's why that's why, like you said, with the match with Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, yeah, it might have been. And then again, it could have been split down the middle as far as who carried it.
Yeah, we'll never know that. But I mean, that's the thing is like for him to come in like he did and to be able to keep up with these guys. I mean, I didn't like it. I love AJ Styles. I wish AJ Styles would have won. And I wish it was a little longer match. There was a couple matches tonight I think were too short. AJ Styles was too short.
The only thing I'm wondering though is if because I noticed the same thing. I'm wondering if maybe one or two of the matches from night one might have kind of cut it. Yeah, might have cut it.
Well, I never understand that. It's pay-per-view. You don't necessarily have everybody who's paying to watch it is paying to watch it. So yeah, all right, you say it ends at 11. So what if it goes to 11:30? I mean, Raw back in the day used to go to like 11:15.
But with all these TV networks and Peacock being technically owned by NBC,
yeah, but it's streamed. It's streamed.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like I don't. Tony Blazing here said, "Let's hope this night gets done with the convention center and the city, and the Bengals come to terms with the stadium." I would love to get pay-per-view. I would.
Oh yeah, what about with the renovation?
How they're going to do? Yeah. Well, because the thing is, because they're already redoing the convention center. And I've said this a million times. They're redoing the convention center is to get stuff like WrestleMania, to get stuff like the NFL draft. But Cincinnati deserves this. We have these two big ass stadiums. They're open air, but they're big ass stadiums, and you can do something with these. But the thing is, we did not have a indoor facility to take care of the pregame, postgame, whatever you call it, stuff. We had a chance to get the RNC, the Republican National Convention, a couple of years ago, and the convention or the Coliseum and the convention center weren't big enough. So that's why they are redoing the convention center. I wish they would get us an actual indoor arena and redo the Coliseum and make it bigger, either there or somewhere else, so we can get these things, because Cincinnati can fill it. We can fill it. We are a big enough city now that we can fill WrestleMania. We can fill the RNC or DNC. We can do the NFL draft. We can do these things once we get the platforms.
Well, but the thing is that from what I'm hearing, the last thing I heard on that was particularly with the Bengals stadium, supposedly, apparently it sounds like the state's trying to fight that now, since Cincinnati, the city of Cincinnati, and the Bengals have kind of like came together.
Well, because the city of Cleveland has is trying to they're trying to use state funds, the whole state, for the Brown Stadium. And there's a congressman going, well, that's bullshit. You can't use the entire state fund for this one if you're not going to use it for Columbus with the Blue Jackets or Cincinnati with the Bengals or the Reds. That's the thing they're fighting on. Wait, hold on. Why are we going? Why is the
So
state going to give us money?
what was the deal with that? Was it because from what I had heard, it was originally already approved?
Oh, it's already approved, but he's fighting it. That guy's fighting it because it doesn't make any sense. You can't just go, all right, state is going to fund part of the Browns moving if they're not going to fund the Blue Jackets or the Reds or the Bengals. So if you're going to do this, it's the entire state. So you should have the state teams be able to get into this fund. If you're going to do it for the Browns, screw that.
So in other words, basically the Browns are trying to hijack everything.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it's not, honestly, I'm not trying to defend the Browns. It was a legit legal thing that they were allowed to do, but this guy caught them. I'm going, hold on a second here. I'm the governor or congressman or whatever it is of the state of Ohio. So you can't just do that. If you do this, then we got to do it for everybody. And the one thing I want to clarify with the Bengals are working with the stadium fund that the National Football League already has for teams with stadiums. They want a little bit more, but they're using that fund. So everybody keeps saying that, oh shit, they just want us to fund a brand new stadium. They don't want a brand new stadium.
That was always my understanding of it.
They don't want a brand new stadium, and they're not asking us to fit the whole bill. They're going to use some of this, and they're trying to use some of the NFL funds, and now they're trying to get into, okay, well, you already had this fund for stadiums for Ohio. Well, that should be, we could have some of that too. But they're not asking for as much as Cleveland. They're not even close.
Yeah, because from my understanding of it was there was something put into pass by, I think it was Governor DeWine, about increasing the tax on sports betting, which is how they're getting that fund.
Right. You might be right, which, go for it.
Which I could be wrong.
That's fine. Yeah. Which is fine.
I could have misspoken, but
as long as you don't raise my property tax or my sales tax, that's fine. I don't bet that much. You want to raise the tax on betting? That's cool. I'm like, because it's
I'm the same way. Like I think I've maybe only since they made sports betting legal here, done it like maybe like 3 or 4 times.
So I keep trying to explain this to my brother, because my brother, I love my brother, but he will not ever vote for a tax increase for the Bengals stadium. And I think there's a lot of people like that. I keep trying to tell them they're not necessarily asking for that. The Bengals are not asking for that. They are asking for the funds that are in the NFL fund. And they're asking for this fund that the Browns are using. They want a part of it. They don't want the Browns. Why the hell do the Browns get all of it if the Bengals want to? And the Bengals aren't even asking for a new stadium.
I think the money that was asked, if I'm not mistaken, was only like $350 million.
Right. The Browns want to move to a completely different area, leave their downtown stadium empty, and the city just screwed. They have nothing to do with this downtown arena and move out to the suburbs for this big indoor arena. The Bengals are not asking for that. They're not. They want to upgrade the stadium that they have, which is over 20 years old, which is not like, look,
Because you could probably get about another, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably could get another decade with the renovations.
oh, dude, you can get more than that. I'm like, oh yeah, Wrigley Field, and you got
Yeah, okay. No, I see. I
you
see
got
your point with
Boston's.
that.
You can get more.
I see. I
You
see your
take
counter.
care.
With that.
I live in a house that's I've been here almost 21 years. It was built in 1986. You take care of it. The buildings will stay there forever. You just have to take care of it. It's upkeep. That's all you have to do. That's all they're asking for is for the city that the city built. The city was dumb to build the damn thing, but they built it. So they're like, all right, well, you build it. Like we're the tenants. We just want to upgrade a little bit. And for these people, like, look, the city will lose so much freaking money if the Bengals leave. They're not. If these city council members let the Bengals leave, they're all getting voted out because we're gonna have this empty big ass stadium down there that we can't do anything with.
And I think the ultimate fear, at least in this case, is if the Bengals would leave.
Where they are,
And I mean, but I'm just saying if they would leave, hypothetically, I don't think they will, but
right.
if they would, I've heard for years that if the Bengals, that the NFL's been trying to get
them out of here. Yeah, I believe the NFL wants to get them out of here. We will
because if left up to them, they'd be if left up to the NFL, every team would be in a large market.
Yeah, we will not get an NFL team back. We won't.
And I think a lot of people don't seem to understand that.
Well, some people are like, all right, screw it, leave. Like,
yeah, you say that right now, but then
do you understand what would happen to our city if an NFL team leaves? Like, I'm like, oh, well, they're terrible. They don't spend any money. We'll get another team that spend more money. Sure, right.
And the thing,
all right, go talk to Vegas. Vegas spent a whole bunch of money on the Raiders, built a brand new damn stadium.
And
what they won? What do they won? Nothing. They just had WrestleMania, which is awesome. They ain't won shit, and they're not anywhere close to winning anything.
Oh no, they've been in a torrential rebuild.
I mean, let's talk.
I think about as long as the Lions were.
Right. Let's talk about Tennessee. Tennessee got the Houston Oilers. Yeah, they won the run their first year that they were there. Well, since then, let's talk. You just talk about Detroit. Detroit has been there forever. Built them a brand new stadium. Didn't do shit for 10 years. Now they're starting.
They're starting to become.
But it wasn't to get a new stadium. You have an NFL team. You don't let them leave. Look at Oakland. Oakland lost their basketball team. The Golden State Warriors went from Oakland to San Francisco. They lost their football team. They went from Oakland to Vegas. Now they lost their baseball team. That's going to go to Vegas eventually. Is in Sacramento.
I thought it was next season they were supposed to go to Vegas. Or they going?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't think they even know. But the thing is, if you want to be a big market team and you want more events to come here, you've got to have a major league team, an NFL team, or an NHL team, or an NBA team in that city. You got to have it. Look, Indianapolis is perfect. Indianapolis had the Pacers. That was it. Until they got the Colts and they have a big ass arena to do stuff. Now, like, oh my God, Indianapolis is the greatest place to hold events, right? Because they were smart. They built an arena, which is the new one, which is Lucas Oil Field, which is very close to their convention center. So they can do the events. And that's what I keep trying to tell everybody. It's like, you have the Bengals team. So,
you ever been to Lucas Oil? Not to get off topic, you ever been to Lucas Oil Stadium?
I have.
It's nice. Yeah, we went there. Yeah, me and Will went there for the combine.
I've gone there. Well, I didn't go this year for the combine, but I went the last 2 years for the combine. So my point was this: they're going to build this bridge, and they're going to move it over. And the 75 bridge, they're supposed to move it over. So they're one of the maps that I've seen, there's enough room to build when they moved 75 over to build a indoor basketball or hockey arena right there, damn near connected to the convention center. You want big events? That's what you need. And you need it close by. Everything. Oh, we got TKO Stadium. It's close to nothing. Like, really. It's an OTR, which they're going to build that up. They're going to make it nice. But if you want to have big events, it's too far away from each other. That's why, like, the Reds on the road from Convention Center is, I don't know, what, a block away? If you have the indoor arena right next to that, you got the indoor arena, you got the new convention center, you got Paycor, and you got GABP right there. That's what you want if you want to be a big main event city. You need it close by, and just it's four corners. You got, put it this way, you got convention center, the new indoor arena, you got Paycor, Red Stadium, and then whatever the hell they do where the Coliseum used to be, you can make it Reds Land. You can make it bars and all that stuff, whatever. And then across the river, they're about to where the IRS used to be. They're about to build another banks there, right across the river. All that it's within walking or an Uber walking distance. All of that and then you got Newport on Levee. All of that is right there where you want. If you want to have a big ass event where 100,000 people are coming, where you have plenty of things for them to do, that's what you want, and it's close. Yeah, it's not really walking area, but it's Uber area where it's close enough. We can go there, it's right there. That is what you want to be a big main event city.
No, that's 100% facts.
I mean,
The only thing I'm wondering though, eventually when they eventually get everything settled, and we do begin the construction of with all the renovations, I wonder how they're going to do it. Is it all going to be done in phases?
Oh, it's going to be done in phases. Yeah, it's not going to be. Well, if you remember when they built the two stadiums, it sucked. Fort Washington Way was closed. You remember that?
I remember. Oh, believe me,
it sucked. We had to go through downtown. It was horrible.
And I've always been the type, I hate driving through downtown. I will forever look for if I've got to go to downtown Cincinnati, I will look for anywhere that has the quickest way back out.
See, that's what's cool about being on West Side. If I want to go to a Bengals game or a Reds game, I can get there in 15 minutes. River Road, Marion Way, I'm there.
That's the one thing I will say I envy you on.
Although
for me, I know because my previous employer I worked for, they sold their company. Well, they still held on to the buildings, so I still parked there for free.
There you go.
So it's like I save a ton of money as far as parking downtown.
There you do.
Yeah, because I think along where lot 1 and all that's at, I think I even saw one lot charge like $50 for parking.
Oh, Bengals parking is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. It is seriously ridiculous
compared to Reds parking. But I mean, you got 82 home games versus 7 or 8, so I understand. But it still sucks.
Without question. Oh no, that goes without saying. I know the Reds, the parking with there is substantially cheaper. But what are you thinking? What are you thinking for night 1 for the draft? Are you still Walter Nolan all the way?
I'm still Walter Nolan, but I'm the linebacker from Alabama. I can't think of his name right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Jihad Campbell.
Thank you. Jihad Campbell is there. I'd have a hard time not taking him. And this is what kills me. I wish the Bengals were in a better position to take it. I wish they could take both. Because honestly, if they take Nolan and Campbell, which is not reality, will be great.
Well,
So I'm
here's
kind of
here's
torn.
the thing. They could. Here's
Hold on.
okay.
Let me finish real
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
I'm kind of torn because I like Nolan with JT Slater. Those two next to each other. Nolan, Slater can stop the run, which we got a new tackle. We didn't have one last year. He can stop the run. Nolan can get you pressure on that quarterback up the middle. That frees up Trey. That frees up Osai or whoever you have on that side. We have not had that kind of pressure since Larry.
2021, yeah.
Yeah. But linebacker, you got Pratt, who doesn't want to be here. You got Logan Wilson, who's fine. And then you got Al. And then you have the guy from the Eagles. If you're going to play two linebackers, those are your two. I'm not sold. If you get the guy from Alabama, he's a wrecker. And I don't want – put it this way. I want both Nolan and him. I don't want either one going to the Steelers or the Ravens. And I have a bad feeling we draft one, they're going to draft the other one. But the Bengals can't take a chance on that because they screwed the draft up the last couple of years so many times that they have to take a guy who can plug and play game one. So that's why I keep going back to Nolan. Go ahead.
There is a possibility that it could be done. It is the way it would probably. Hold on. Hear me out.
They didn't get both.
Yes,
okay,
but it may involve trading Trey.
Ooh,
Because I'm going to be completely honest, and I've talked to some people. From my end that kind of are familiar to to Trey's situation.
All right.
They're telling me that they don't think that he's gonna get extended this year. He's gonna probably,
which he might not.
They're thinking that he's probably, if he balls out like he has the previous years, he's probably gonna be franchise tagged, and then they'll try to work out a deal.
I've heard that too. Go ahead.
I don't think his agent really did him any favors.
Oh God. But all right, so I'll put it this way: do you think a team you'd have to be all right if who's the linebacker from Alabama again? Give me his name.
Jihad Campbell.
All right, Jihad Campbell drops, which I don't necessarily think he's going. I don't think he's going to drop 17. I don't think it's. I honestly don't think it's going to be an option. I think there should be teams out there that will take him, and they'll be fine and just wait on him. But let's just say he drops, and he's there. He's getting close to 17. Do you think the Bengals would actually trade Trey Henderson, and there has to be a number one pick to get him, and it can't be that far away from 17? That's what I'm saying. Like 20 would be the farthest I think they would go to kill Trey to have a chance.
It'd have to be somewhere between, like, I'd say anywhere between 14 to 20.
Yeah, they could trade up to get him
if they do it.
If they do it, and I just
do. I think they'll do it. If you go off of the past, then no, because of how they value their draft picks.
If they're going to trade Trey Henderson, who is a known commodity, and they do not have to do anything with him, and I'm not trying to take the Bengals side, but the Bengals do not have to do anything with Trey. They can sign. They can, dude. You're playing this year. Just contract you sign, and like you said, Anthony, tag him next year, tag him the year after that.
Because I've heard people try to say, "Oh, they won't tag a 31-year-old." I'm like, you don't know the NFL.
All right, hold on. Let's say, all right, look at this. All right, so you got 2 years now. He's 31. You still got Joe signed. You got Trey signed. You got Jamar signed. Who else you tagging?
Nobody, because there's
nobody unless
because even Jesse, when Jesse
right.
was on the show, even said we don't have anybody of like great importance that's vital.
Unless Joseph Osai balls out, they can tag him next year. That is the only guy that I think that could potentially. He's younger. We're gonna tag him. We'll let Trey leave. That's it. Other than that, They have nobody.
Yeah. And if you
So,
go off of Osai's past success, I think
dude, I think he's
the
gonna pop.
potential's always there. The potential
It's
is there.
It's
He's
there.
shown flashes.
He's shown.
I just don't know that. Although we did finally get a deal done with David Mulligetta.
Woo! We had 1 year done.
Yeah, although we finally did.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't know that
Well,
if the price tag, if he has a good year, let's say Osai leads the league in sacks. Mulligetta's going to be extremely cutthroat, and he's going to get zero.
Exactly.
You know what?
So that's why they would tag him more. Exactly.
True. Okay.
They tag Osai before they tag Trey, because they know Mulligetta's going to try to get him paid. All right, screw you. We're going to tag him.
So in other words, okay, I see your counter. In other words, they'll pay the higher premium for a younger guy if he shows that
yes, they will.
There,
yep,
they'll pay the higher premium.
Yep.
As opposed to paying.
Yep,
Trey.
Absolutely, and I think that's what they're thinking. I'm like, they want Trey. They want Trey at their price, whatever that price is. And if they don't get it, and I hate it, I absolutely hate it because I want everybody happy. But I think we're going to be talking about this all year long. I think we're going to talk about Trey all year long. I do.
That's kind of where I'm at. I think the Bengals. And this is because me and my buddy Will had talked about it, and we both agree that it's not going to happen this year. We don't think it is. With the only reason why I'm doubting it, I had the chance to look up their available cap space. Right now, they're sitting at about 25 mil.
I'll put it this way. The only reason I think it will, I think Trey, in his heart of hearts, loves the city, wants to be here. If they can come anywhere close to what he wants, it could be.
But what's the number? But here's the thing: what's the number?
Well, I don't know. It could be $5 million less. I'll put it within $5 million, which is a big number. But it's $5 million less, $5 to $3 million. I think Trey might take it because Trey wants the stability. He wants to know he's going to be here and not have to worry about this the rest of his career. So, and all NFL players want that.
I get that, and I get that. I think for
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
The only thing I'm wondering though, because I've also heard things, and some of this may be hearsay, that the whole hang-up might be the fact that he wants that big raise to take effect this year, and looking at where the Bengals sit as far as cap wise,
he's not getting that this year. There's no way the Bengals are giving. Well, all right, I won't say no way. They might give him a signing bonus, and that would give him the.
In other words, that might be enough to get him to go. Oh, okay.
But the thing is, what I keep going back to, and this is, and I'm trying to go into the Bengals head. He signed the contract 2 years ago.
Yeah,
his agent screwed him. He should have not signed that contract. He should have signed a bigger contract because look. The Bengals drafted Myles Murphy 2 years ago to replace Trey. I don't care what anybody says. That's the reason they drafted Myles Murphy was to replace Trey. That was it. There's no other reason to.
So in other words, you're thinking along the lines of what I was thinking. Will, my buddy,
yeah,
we're thinking that Osai was originally intended to replace Hubbard.
Right.
Hendrickson replacement was set to be Myles Murphy.
Right. And neither one of them worked out. But that's the same year they drafted Myles, the same year they extended Trey, which surprised me. And then Trey comes back and goes, I'm going to retire. Trey's not going to retire. He's not going to. So all this stuff, and the thing is, too, with Trey. All right. So let's say worst case scenario. Trey, they don't sign Trey. And he sits down. The most he can sit down is, I think, 7 or 8 games for his season to count for his free agency.
Yeah, in other words, if he sat out more than 8 games, technically the Bengals would still hold his contract rights.
But he's stuck because they can still tag him, which they don't have anybody else to tag next year.
Hence why I've gotten people to, and a lot of people seem to think that I'm crazy for thinking this, but I'm like, no, that's the most.
This is where I'm like, people keep saying they're going to trade Trey. I will be the only way they're trading Trey if they get multiple picks. They let Carson Palmer retire. The only reason they traded him because Oakland came in and they gave him a whole bunch of picks.
They gave him like 2 first. They gave him 2 first rounds, one in the same year,
and
one in the next year, and the one the year after. I think one the year after.
And the talk is for Trey, they want at least a first round pick. And I don't know if NFL teams are willing to give Trey Henderson a first round pick, which I am not talking shit about Trey, but Trey is just a pass rusher. He's not a run defender. He just puts his fingers in the dirt and goes after the quarterback. That's all he does. He's very good at it, but that's the facts. And I can't, like, I hate this. I do, because I feel like I'm defending the Bengals
because you have to give it. But I get what you're saying.
Right.
You got to give it on. You have to give it
as a host, putting content out there. This is the way you have to look at it, and this is the facts of the way it is. And everybody, they should just give money. Well, they're not just going to give him money. They're not going to. Anderson, Anthony, you wouldn't do either, and I wouldn't either. I'm not giving him money.
And you have to look at it from a business standpoint.
Right. I think he deserves it. Katie might think he deserves it. But as a businesswoman, she can't think that. She just can't.
You have to take all emotion and all attachment.
Right. You have to take
out of it.
It's business. You got to take all of it out of it. I'm a huge Bengals fan. Like, the thing that's killing me, though, is where they're not addressing the guard situation. That part is stupid. That, to me, that is more dumb than the Trey Henderson thing, to be honest. Because, look, you have Joe Burrow. What's up, Kevin? You have Joe Burrow, who is, some people, I think, is the best quarterback in the league. You have a gaping hole at your guard. Now, I think they think this. I think they think the guys they have there, either Cody Ford or Kirkland or Cordell Volson or the guy they signed for the Saints, are good enough to be at guard. I don't think that. I think they need to sign either Reisner or Scherf and draft somebody. And then, you know what? If you get that much talent in there, then you let the 2 guys beat it out and win. And that's what they should do. I don't know if they're going to do that. I'm hoping to God that they draft Nolan and then draft, I'm going to say his name wrong again, Ratledge, whatever his name is, at Georgia.
Tate Ratledge. Yeah.
Tate Ratledge in 49. If they do those 2 moves, I will be ecstatic. I'm like, all right, you got 2 starters. If you get 2 starters out of the draft, they got 6 picks. If you hit 3 out of the 4, that's an unbelievable draft. If you hit 2 that are starters, that's an unbelievable draft. That's the thing. Like, we're not going to hit all 6. We're not, and that's the problem with the.
And I think that's rare.
It's rare.
When that happens.
That like never fuck the Steelers don't even do that. The Ravens don't do that. They draft great.
I think the Niners did it. I think the Niners might have done it back in the 80s.
You do it every once in a while, but on a year that you have to hit on damn near every pick is hard. They put themselves in that position. That's what I'm saying. If you hit on 2, which is an interior lineman and a guard, it'd be great. But the problem is you still got linebacker. Hopefully you hit on third round. We'll see.
But well, Jeff, it was good to see you at the Blue Jackets outdoor game.
It was. What's up? What's up, Kevin?
I'm good. I'm doing good. And how about the Reds just smoking the Orioles today, 24-2?
That was awesome. I I didn't watch any of it. I was watching WrestleMania, but I did follow it on my phone. It was
I
great.
did too. I was like, oh my god, the Reds smoked the Oilers 24-2. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I had to take a double take on that one because I'm
Yeah.
sitting there going
So-
24-2.
So I gotta
Is
tell
this
you
the
this.
same Reds team I've grown up watching?
So I gotta tell you this. I was down here watching WrestleMania. My wife yelled down here something. I'm like, what? I'm like, I walked to the stairs. I'm like, what? She goes, is this red score real? I said, what? They scored like 20 something runs. She goes, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's real. She goes, really? I'm like, yep, they did.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's great. We'll see what happens. I mean, I've seen this crap before where they score a whole bunch of runs, and then the next day they don't get any pitching. We'll see what happens. I mean,
Hopefully
I don't not believe in this team. I just believe there's a lot of stuff that's got to go right for this team. And it's funny though with the Bengals. I'll put this. It's put to you both this way. If the Bengals played right now, the way the team is set up, and if everybody's happy, I'll put everybody's happy with their contract, Trent Henderson included. I think we have a better team this year than we did last year because last year, remember, we had the whole contract thing. We talked about T. Higgins for the last 3 years. We talked Jamar last year. And then we keep getting off the bad starts. If you bring everybody, and that's what drives me nuts with the Trey Henderson thing, you bring everybody in and they're happy. They have nothing to complain about, nothing to worry about. There's no talking about contracts or anything. The team we have right now, honestly, I like without Golden at defense and him, I think being able to develop the young guys, I think it's good enough right now to win the Super Bowl. And things got to go right. Things have to go right. I want them to add things. But right now, if everybody's happy, it makes a big difference. Look, Anthony, Kevin, ask this. If you're going to your job and you feel like, all right, this guy's not doing as much as I am, why is he getting more stuff than I am? Why is this guy making more money? I work my ass off. It's human nature.
Yeah,
It goes off in your head. If you fix that and nobody says, like, there's gonna be guys upset with a contract, but we're not talking about the big guys, the guys that are going to make game-changing moments. If you get those guys fixed and they're happy, come on now. It makes a big difference. It does.
Oh, it does. Really, I 100% agree with you on that. I think just the one thing, I think
We don't
trying to
perhaps
figure that out.
you missed it earlier. I have no idea, and this is my big. If they take a guard at 17, I won't be upset. I won't. If there's a good enough guard at 17, I will not be upset. You know why? Because despite how our defense is, if you take a guard at 17 and you can control the offensive line and you can control that run game and you don't have to score within 5 minutes and you can have a 10, 15-minute drive and you can keep their offense on the sideline, I will take that over. Just give me a hot take. I'll take a guard and improve this offensive line over a defensive tackle. I will. Anything, am I crazy?
No,
No,
Jeff,
you're not.
I would
No,
say
you're
this. Jeff, I'd say this. You bring up the idea of you'd rather have just a long drive where you take time off the clock and just slowly grind it out and score. That just made me think of when I was at the Bengals game, the White Tiger game against the Eagles. The Bengals' first drive, they scored. They start off the game, 15 minutes on the clock. They scored, and there was 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, I remember that game.
They took 10. I was looking at my dad when that happened. They took 10 minutes off the clock with one drive. Like, wow.
You
Now,
control the
obviously-
ball. You control
Yeah.
the ball. You control the game.
Now, obviously, the Bengals lost that game. That sucked. But point being is like that was one less possession that the Eagles had to try and score. So like I agree with you. What you're getting at there is that if you can get drives where you can take a good chunk off the clock and just grind it out, that's less time for the other team to try and score. And then that makes your defense more fresh because then they don't have to play as much. So like, yes, it it is cool when it's like, Joe Burrow steps back to pass and he throws like an 80-yard bomb to like Jamar Chase touchdown. That's cool. But like I like it better if I can get a drive where it's like 10 plays and let's say 9 minutes off the clock or something like that, and just grind it out and take away less chances to score for the other team. And you mentioned the slow starts. That's bad. The Bengals got to fix that. I agree with that. And then I saw this on Twitter yesterday. Between the month of December and January, Joe Burrow in his career with the Bengals is 18-4.
Woo!
So like we got that part down. It's like once the season gets going, the Bengals are fine and we start cooking and Joe Burrow is fine. It's just we got to fix that.
Start cooking with fish grease.
You gotta start fixing that start so then you're not in that hole. But once you get going, then you're fine. So if you fix the beginning, then you go into that 18-4 and you're fine. You're fine.
Let me get my boy Johnny Paps here. UPS brother. Give me an edge. Just haven't seen Sound Reisner, and I'll be happy. Johnny, I am totally with you. Like that is my dream scenario. I want Nolan, and then not Reisner, but Reisner's fine. But what's the name again there, Anthony?
Tate Ratledge. Are you talking about Ratledge coming out of college, or are you talking about
yes. You're Ratledge, and then hey, if they sign Reisner, fuck, you get Ratledge and Reisner, dude, we're golden. Go ahead, Anthony. What do you got here? I know you want to talk.
No, I think for me, I think there's still a chance that we get a guard, a starting caliber guard. The only thing I think what will probably end up happening, it would not surprise me if they're waiting until after the draft. Then because did you watch the TikTok, either of you, that Dalton Reisner did?
Yes, I posted that where he wanted to play for the Bengals. Yes.
Well, but he also did a TikTok live where he basically said he's in contact with a number of teams.
Yeah, including the Bengals.
Yes. So
yeah. You don't follow me on Twitter, Anthony? Jeez, I put that.
I follow you on Twitter.
I'm very upset. Jeez, what the hell?
I want to say this. I just saw the comment on the screen where it said give 9 a time. That I'm paraphrasing it, but yes, right there. It says give 9 time and no one will beat us. I've been of that belief for a long time, and
oh, he froze.
And Bengals captain had I remember watching one of your shows, Jeff, and Bengals captain brought up the point that like when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl in 2021, their defense was like average at best. It wasn't like the super like really good defense.
Huh.
So
we don't need a great defense.
So my point is if we can just have like what we had in 2021, and you basically give Joe Burrow a chance to throw the ball, we're fine.
But we also had the worst offensive line at that time too.
But
that's the reason we lost.
The whole reason why we lost.
But if we fix, you get a guard.
If you fix the offensive line, to Kevin's point, to Kevin's point, you fix the offensive line, you don't necessarily. And I'm not saying piss on the defense at all, at all. But and this is what's driving me nuts for this offseason is like, why in the hell did they not go and get at least one veteran guard? Why not? Why there were guys out there?
I think that I'm not sure, but I think that they've probably been looking. But I think that they're trying to get their rate.
I'll put it this way, because if they did not think the guys that they had in their room were good enough, they'd go get somebody. They think Cody Ford, they think Kirkland, they think the kid from New Orleans. They think they're good enough because if you're an NFL team, you don't go into a draft going, we have this gaping ass hole in the middle of our line. We've got to draft somebody. You don't do that. If that's their thinking, they were screwed. They think that Kirkland, Ford, Volson, and the guy from New Orleans, two of those guys will be okay. Worst case, this is what they're thinking. Worst case, those if we can't get anybody in the draft, worst case, two of those guys will be fine. Because if you don't sign somebody, because why would you not sign anybody if you don't think that?
Well, but there's no proof to say that that they have or haven't done that. And I'm not trying to. I'm like you. I'm not trying to take up for the Bengals.
They haven't done what? They haven't signed anybody. They signed one guy.
Or that they haven't been in talks with anybody. They probably.
No.
It may or may.
All right, hold on. I'll roll back this way.
Okay.
When they signed Kappa and Karras, first day of free agency, they signed it because they knew their offensive line sucked. They needed a center. They needed a guard. Those are two positions that they picked out that were the worst of their offensive line.
Okay, I'll give you that.
They think look, their tackles are fine. As long as they stay healthy, they're fine. Their center is fine. The guards are not, like I said, I am not an NFL expert. I don't know talent, but I just know what I see. These guys, there's a reason that Kirkland has been on the practice squad. Maybe they're right. Maybe he develops something. I don't know. I just know what Trags has told me, where they like Kirkland a lot. That scares me. They like Ford a lot. They re-signed Ford. I think they re-signed Ford to compete for a spot. I think they re-signed Kirkland to compete for a spot. I think they had Cordell Vosen just because he was there, but they still think he could compete for competition. The guy from New Orleans could compete for a spot. Compete. Competing for a spot is great when it's one shot, not when it's two spots.
I can't disagree with that. I can't.
That's what scares me. That scared me the entire offseason. I'm like, I can't get over this. And I hope to God I'm wrong.
I think we all hope we're wrong.
I hope they're right. They should be right. They're the NFL expert, and they're putting a lot of pressure on their new offensive line coach to develop these guys.
Scott Peters,
Scott Peters, and Al Golden, which Al Golden and Scott Peters are both in the developmental part. That's their strength, is developing guys. So that's what they're hoping to do.
I think, and again, I'm just speaking from the point of view of being the fact that I played offensive line when I played football. That
you are a big motherfucker. I've met you in person.
Yeah, I know.
big hairy dude.
Yeah, but from the offensive line standpoint, I agree with you in the sense that it does scare. It is a little bit scary to have two spots that you're basically having everybody in there just having it be an all out free for all.
Right.
But there's a couple of guys in there I really don't. I think they bring in at least one more person,
which they might. I think they're going to try to draft somebody. Put it this way, I hope they draft somebody, and I hope they bring in somebody. If they do that, I will feel so much better about it.
I would say probably the one I see. I would say the one I see probably being more likely would be they would draft somebody, and then between the two the three names that you hear constantly being referred to: Sheriff, Reisner, and Hernandez.
Right.
Reisner, I'm leaning towards right now probably being the more likely.
Sheriff might retire, so that's why I'm leaning more toward Reisner.
Yeah, because I think Sheriff he's a full-on country boy.
Now, one thing I'll say about this, Johnny says it's scary because protecting Joe has been an issue for the last 4 years, which I agree with that.
Let me throw let me throw this point in there real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to disagree that that protecting Joe has been an issue, but on the same token, Joe is one of those guys that he does have a tendency to hold on to the ball too long.
Yep. That's all I'm
But
gonna say.
it is one of those things that not if you go back and pay attention to the film, and because once you play the game of football, you look at it completely different.
The thing is though, this way, and I agree. That was exactly my point. But if you give him a solid line, and this dude holds on to the ball and keeps trying to make plays, how many more plays will he make? Because Jackpot Joey is the fucking GOAT. He's a fucking great player. How many more plays will he make? Because he does not have to get out of a almost sack if you have a legit offensive line.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing.
No, I know you're not. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking that into existence. That's why
it'd be exponentially
nuts.
Higher. It would be
right. So, Mike, if you get a solid, this just kills me. If you get a fucking solid offensive line where nobody touches Joe, and then I don't know, Jamar T and G don't get open, and he keeps waiting and waiting and waiting. And he steps, and he's able to step up, and they go past him, and he can either run, dump it off, I don't know, go deep. Like, if they don't touch him, dude, you know how lethal that dude will be? Well, that's what kills me with the Bengals. It's like, I'm like, do you understand? I was like, do you understand what you have with Jackpot Joey? He is a fucking elite quarterback. He will make plays on these shitty lines. What kind of plays will he make if he has a great offensive line? And nobody
game winning the type of plays that end in us holding the Lombardi Trophy,
right? Like,
and probably Jeff being drunk out of his mind at the Super Bowl parade.
Exactly. Y'all, I'm gonna jump on the float. All right, I'll go back to the Super Bowl. Go back to the Super Bowl. The last play, they hold that line. It's gonna kill everybody. But when we win that Super Bowl, Jamar Chase is fucking open.
Yeah. Wide open. Wide open for days.
Him. You hold that line, he kills him. He killed him, and we win the Super Bowl. That's what drives me nuts. It's like, that's where I'm like, if you're a Bengal owner or what, that you were literally that close to winning the Super Bowl. That if you own a damn team, why do you not want to win that? Why? And this is what kills me as a Bengal fan. I feel that us as fans are more passionate about winning this sometimes than the ownership is. Like, we'll try sometime. No, you had a damn offensive line. We win a damn thing, and I'm drunk on a float, naked or something. It would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
I'm not. I know that the Bengals are against the whole, equity thing where you sell some of it to get extra money, but realistically, that's something that they probably should consider because the owners of the Bengals are only rich because they own the Bengals. And look, the Blue Jackets, they're a small market team, but they basically sold 30% to Nationwide Insurance, and they still own the McConnell family who own the Blue Jackets. They still own the Blue Jackets.
What is the private equity stake to put in for
how does that work? So the people who originally own the Blue Jackets still have like control of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the McConnell family who own the Blue Jackets, they sold 30% to Nationwide Insurance, and they still control the Blue Jackets because they still have 70% of the Blue Jackets. And now they just get extra money from Nationwide Insurance. And this is where it also helps the Blue Jackets is that the owner, the McConnell family, before the Blue Jackets started, they also had a business called Worthington Industries that's like steel and construction that's worth like millions of dollars. So now they have Worthington Industries, they have the Blue Jackets, and now they're getting money from Nationwide Insurance to where, you're a smaller market team and you still can't afford to spend like the bigger market teams, but now you have extra money that you can now afford to spend more money to help
I get-
out your team.
I get what you're saying. So say if there's a free agent left tackle and say Orlando, say they chose
Or
not to-
a left wing, whatever, or a
Yeah.
defensive right person.
Yeah. So with that being said,
Just try to help me out with the hockey.
with
talk
that
there,
being
Ethan.
said, I'm officially asking that Kroger's and Procter and Gamble please go to call the Bengals, say, hey, we just want X amount, just 15%. Hey, we'll give you X amount of money
And
for what you
So
need.
my question is, Kevin, what did this happen just this year, or
no, this has been a thing for years now.
All right, so then I love the Blue Jackets. I do. Then why do they still suck and not sign the right fucking players? Because I know they had a good end and they almost made the playoffs, but they got to do a little better.
Well, here because they are in a similar position that the Bengals were years ago, where they're building up their team and they're starting to get their guys like a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, a T. Higgins, a Logan Wilson, and so on and so forth. They're getting those guys now, and what you saw this season, where they're really starting to pop.
They missed it by this much, dude.
They just missed it by one game. But what you're starting to see is what you saw with the Bengals, where they got more competitive and eventually, they make a run to the Super Bowl, AFC championship game twice. That's what's happened with the Blue Jackets, is that they are getting their Jamar Chases, their Joe Burrows, and so on and so forth. It's there. They will really start to be there next year or two. Is when it really is going to.
I hope so, because
take off.
I'm waiting for it.
The reason I bring up the whole
Kevin, hang on a second. Ralphie, are you there? Ralphie, I got you on the screen with the moon. Ralphie,
you're muted.
You're muted, Ralphie. Ralphie, if you're gonna talk, I'm gonna take you off. I just want.
But the reason why I bring up the whole equity thing, because I know a lot of people like to poo-poo on the Bengals and say, oh, they're cheap, they're this, they're that. But I look at it as someone, and they're like, okay, yeah, I wish they wouldn't do some of the stuff, but it is a real thing. They don't have as much money compared to other people, so there are ways to get around that. And I'm just using the Blue Jackets as an example.
No, I agree with you.
Team that found a way to get more money.
The thing that irritated me with the Blue Jackets was it 2015 we swept the Lightning?
No, 2019.
19 swept the Lightning. Dude, that team could have won the damn Stanley Cup if they could have kept them. Could have kept them, but they all left, and that pissed me off. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, well, because Sergei Bobrovsky wanted $10 million. The Blue Jackets weren't paying that. Panarin, they offered Panarin $12 million, 8 years. He still left.
He still left.
So, and they made the playoffs the following year. So it happens. But they're building themselves back up, and they have a lot of talent, including their own version of Joe Burrow, Adam Fantilli.
There you go. Ralphie, are you there? Rahul, I hear your music.
You gotta turn off the music.
How do you say your name? Hello? Raphael? Kumwa? If you're not gonna talk, I'm just gonna turn you off.
Because we keep the music, don't want to get that taken.
Raphael? Ralph. Yo, Ralph. All right. Nice talking to you.
So I'm just saying that, like, I'm not going to be the one that poo-poos the Bengals for the money thing. Like, you don't have as much money or smaller market team, but you can find ways to get extra money, just like the Blue Jackets did.
Right.
They're doing that to an extent through selling the naming rights and things of that sort. But I get what you're saying. There's more options to be able to get more money.
The problem with the Bengals, it's not they have the money; it's the guarantees. Is what's I think hurting them, because from what I understand, you have to guarantee it, and then interest or whatever loads onto that, and they don't have the backing of that. That's a good way to put it.
And it sounds like, but it does sound like the private equity into NFL, into sports, professional sports teams would kind of help with that some.
Right. Right. All right, boys. We've been on for almost 2 hours. I'm gonna end this thing. Kevin, I know you got a podcast. Go ahead.
I do.
Throw it down real
So yeah, so once a week, Hefty Duck and me, Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast where we talk about the Blue Jackets, and this week's show talking about the final 2 games the Blue Jackets won. They won 3-0 in Philadelphia. They smoked the Islanders 6-1. It was awesome. And we're gonna, the Blue Jackets are gonna sign one of their Russian prospects. He's coming to come over from Russia, defenseman prospect. The Blue Jackets set a new new record for most goals scored in a season. We're gonna talk about that, and so much more. And then we're gonna, like you have done, and Dale has done with Bengals and Brews. Even though it's the off season, we're gonna keep going and do a show once a week and just talk about what's going on in the Blue Jackets world. Again, Union Blue Soldiers. It's a fun Blue Jackets theme group that I run. We do marches and to cheer on the Blue Jackets. And if you've been to a Blue Jackets game within the last 5 years, you've probably seen us on the scoreboard at a Blue Jackets game or on TV and so much more. So check out Union Blue Soldiers. And Jeff, it was great to see you at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. That was cool. And the Blue Jackets won that game 5-3, so it was great to see. And check out Brew Jackets once a week on YouTube and Twitter. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check us out. And thank you very much for having me on your show, Jeff.
No problem, brother. Take it easy, dude. See ya. Union Blue Soldiers are on Facebook, so find them out there. Anthony, I know you got a podcast that we're working. I'm going to come on. We'll figure it out sometime.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
All right. Definitely make sure that you check out my podcast. We record
and he will have a shirt on because it's just a audio one. You won't see his beautiful bearded face, shirtless face, all that stuff.
Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, you're my guy, so I let that one slide.
That's my dude. Well, you're my dude. Man.
So yeah,
I gotta give you shit about it.
Oh, I know. That's why I don't ever give it no problems. But yeah, make sure we have the podcast is Rule the Jungle. We record 3 days a week, so typically we release Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like what Kevin said, with what he talks about for the Blue Jackets, we pretty much go over the offseason Bengals for the Bengals as a whole. And like I said, we pretty much are available on most podcast platforms. So, yeah, make sure you give us a check out. Hey, if you like what we're putting out, give us a follow because, hey, you guys get notified.
You're on Spotify and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
All right. See you, man. It's a hoot day.
All right, guys and girls. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Wrestlemania is over. We'll find out what happens Monday night on Raw. Actually, they have the roast that I'm going to rewind and watch now. It's been on for probably an hour now, maybe over. But I've been live streaming you on ZTV, YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you call it, all that cool stuff, Twitch. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. There's 80 people watching at 1:14 in the morning. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Just keep pumping it out. Keep helping me do the work. And anytime I have cool stuff to talk about, I will go live. So make sure if you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I thoroughly appreciate it. Other than that, John Cena is the fucking GOAT. Hooday for life. And that's your sports, baby. See ya!
Weekday nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ices on the mic, energy, it's good delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse that's in your soul. Cincinnati, heartbeat strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.